Hello, everyone. I am Najibah, your host for today. Hello. I'm currently a third year UBD student doing an internship with Green Depot for my Discovery Year program. And I would like to thank everyone for being here with me today. So just a note before we get started, you don't really need to open your camera or your mic if you don't want to. Honestly, no pressure. But I do encourage just posting something on chat if you want to answer my question or ask any question, which I'll answer later at the end of this workshop. So if you understand that, can you guys type the letter B right now in chat? B for biodiversity, because that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. I see a lot of chats coming. Yeah, just type it out, honestly, so it doesn't feel like I'm alone. But anyways, to those who just joined, welcome again. This is Green Depot's third workshop, and we're very happy to have you here today. Anyways, moving on. So as for today's agenda, I'll be introducing to you biodiversity in a simple way and making you more familiar with the biodiversity we have in Brunei. You'll also get to learn about why it's important, the threats facing biodiversity, what has been done, and lastly, we'll touch upon the basic things we can do as individuals on how to conserve our biodiversity. Throughout this workshop, you'll also get to see polls, activities, and also around 20 minutes total group discussion, including the presentation at the end of the workshop. So I hope you guys look forward to that too. You can download the Mural app if you're planning to do it using your mobile for the activity, but I recommend doing it on PC or laptop because it's much more easier. Okay, so hopefully by the end of this workshop, you guys have fun, learn something new, and maybe inspire you to start being more environmentally conscious from now on too. All right, without wasting any more time, let's start with a quick icebreaking session, okay? So how would you describe yourself? This activity is pretty easy. So if the word I point out describes you, and you just need to type me, or you can use the annotate button up there, the pencil looking icon, to write or like stamp something around the word when I say the word. Is that easy to understand? Yes? All right. So let's start. So who here considers themselves happy-go-lucky? I'll only give about 5 seconds for each of these words for you guys to type or annotate on the screen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have one over here. Honestly, all right, that's not bad. That's great. It's good to have a positive outlook on life, and everyone needs that. How about workaholic? Who here considers themselves a workaholic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we only have 1, 2. Interesting. But yeah, I think, it's really nice to have our hard work paid off sometime when it's over. How about introvert? Does anyone here considers themselves an introvert? You can type me on chat or like use the stamp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have a lot around here. Honestly, me too. Though I think I can be an ambivert depending on the situation. How about honest? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have a bunch here as well. Honestly, that's a good thing because it makes you more trustworthy and reliable. And yeah. Oh, here's a fun one. How about always sleepy? I'll give about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have a lot of around here. All right, but honestly, same. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's not a bad thing. We can always rest after this, right? And lastly, who here considers themselves creative? I'll give about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we have a bunch over here as well. Anyway, that's not bad. It's a wonderful trait to have that lets you express yourself freely. So yeah, that's nice. Anyways, that marks the end of our icebreaking session. Um, thanks for joining in. I know it's pretty quick. I'm sorry, but did you guys have fun? But yeah, if you think about it, isn't it like interesting to know that right now in the Zoom call, everyone have like different traits and personality, and it really shows like how diverse we are, isn't it? Just like how diverse our world and environment is. Okay, now I'll go to the main session. So, biodiversity. It comes from two words, bio and diversity, where bio means life and diversity means variety. And if you combine these two words together, you'll get variety of life, which is pretty much the basic meaning of biodiversity. But in proper definition, biodiversity refers to all species and living things on Earth or in a specific ecosystem. And this includes more than 8 million species on the planet, which includes plants, animals, microorganisms, and the ecosystem that house them, such as oceans, forests, mountain, coral reefs, and etc. All right, so moving on, let's take a look into the biodiversity we have in Brunei. So, our country, Brunei, holds a wealth of natural resources in both its pristine tropical rainforest and marine ecosystem, meaning we are a very biodiverse region where we have a lot of different species here. So let's learn about it one by one, shall we? Okay. So in terms of forest and flora, the forest in Brunei covers about 72.1% of the total land area, the whole of Brunei, with forest reserves covering about 41%. We also have an estimate of 15,000 species of vascular plants, 2,000 species of trees, and 65 endemic species of vascular plants, meaning they are exclusively from Brunei only. And the pictures above are like some example of our forests and flora. And of course, we have a lot more. Next, here is some example of our endemic plants that are only available in Brunei. Does any one of you know about this as well? These plants being endemic to Brunei? If someone can say something in chat. Nope. Nope. All right. No one? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now we all know that. Now we all know together. Yeah, it's very cute. Okay, moving on. In terms of our wetlands, Brunei has the best preserved mangrove in Southeast Asia, where all of our swamp palms or swamp forests are still in almost pristine condition. And this is mostly due to the lack of, human pressure. And above pictures are like some of the swamp palms that you can typically see in the drier zone of mangrove forests if you go to one of our mangrove forests. So to give you guys like an in-depth example of our forest would be this famous attraction that we all know, which is Ulu Tumberong National Park, the Pristine Rainforest. So if you don't know, only 1% of the national park is open to the public and the rest is all closed off. And it is also home to numerous kinds of wildlife, like elusive hornbills, over 400 kinds of butterflies. And you'll also get to see more about this later. And another interesting example of our flora would be this sting lily or bunga bangkai that was on the news last year. It's a rare species of flora with medicinal properties that couldn't be found anywhere in Brunei, but it bloomed in one person's backyard last year. Honestly, the bloom itself was so rare, making it like a magical and surprising moment for a lot of people. Okay, now let's take a look into our marine species. So, looks like a field mushroom. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. So for our marine species, we have a record of 50 freshwater species and 144 marine species. And pictures above are like some examples you can find in Brunei. Of course, it's pretty rare. But for example, there are videos on YouTube you can find on the whale shark if you search it up. And also like the frogfish, you can find them near shipwrecks if we go to ecotourism diving sites, for example, with pony divers, since this is where I got the information from. And next, here are some examples of our endemic species, fishes you can find only in Brunei. Most of them are like discovered over the past year. It's pretty interesting if you think about it. And next, so to give you guys like an in-depth example of our marine species would be this Irrawaddy dolphin. This cute but critically endangered species. So it is a friendly species that can usually be found helping fishermen by driving other small fishes in towards the gill net of the fishermen. And this picture right here is a picture report of them in 2016, which was released last year, while the Reddit post above kind of shows like how friendly these dolphins were in helping fishermen, according to the writer of the post. And these are the statistics of their sighting, mostly found in Brunei Bay. But yeah, if we help in conserving our marine species, we might get lucky and be able to see them too if we have not yet already. I also want to see them, not gonna lie. Moving on, Brunei also have coral reefs, where our coral reefs are along the coastline actually host surprisingly rich coral faunas with an estimation of about 400 coral species in total. And they are mostly found in the Brunei Bay area. And for the easiest way for you to see them is actually going to ecotourism sites, diving sites. Yeah. Okay, moving on to our Brunei's wildlife. So Brunei, if you don't know, is home to some of the most intriguing and rarest creature that can only be found here, thanks to our dense and extremely lush rainforest. So for instance, 300 out of 390 species endemic to Borneo are found in Brunei, which means they occur nowhere else in the world but Brunei. And 100 of these are non-flying mammals, half of which are rodents, which is like small animals, and 98 are amphibian species and 50 reptiles. So, for example, the pangolin up here is an anteater. Their name is an adaptation of the Malay word pengguling, which means something that rolls out. Sadly, it is currently one of the most trafficked mammal in the world. Yes. And there's also saltwater crocodile, which is extremely rare and dangerous. They usually jump out of water and attack its prey, including humans. There's a lot of cases in koala blight actually, and people have sadly passed away from it as well. We also have the proboscis monkey and slow loris, which are both endangered, but Brunei has focused on conserving both of them, as well as the sun bear, which is the smallest type of bear in the world. Honestly, really cute. And of course, we have a lot more. And Yeah. So here are some a big crocodile just visited me at the back of my house. Oh no, I hope you're good and safe. All right. Yeah. So here are some example of our endemic species, which includes this frog, ground squirrel, and also these different insects and snails, known only from Brunei. Hence, why some of their names has like Belia or like Brunei in it. Yeah. But yeah, looking at all of these different species, it really shows how diverse and Bruneian is. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, it has like Brunei word in it. Mm. Yeah, so yeah, looking at all these different species, it really shows how diverse and protected Brunei really is, isn't it? And how there are so many unknown species that we don't know about waiting to be discovered, especially here. So, if you are interested to learn more about our biodiversity, you can check out Brew Wild Official on Instagram or Facebook for more information about Brunei biodiversity. It looks scary. Yeah, and it looks colorful. Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, all right. Borneo horn frog. Mom is like, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll move on. So, all right, just to make sure everyone is paying attention, I have some quick short quizzes for you. Don't worry, it's pretty easy. Polls will pop up on your screen with the questions, so you can just answer it there. I'll show you the correct answer later. So are you guys ready? I'll give about 20 seconds for both of these questions. So are you guys ready? Let me just, yes. All right, I'll post the questions now. Okay, I'll give about 20 seconds for most of you guys to answer it. Okay, time's up. Let me end the poll. Okay, I'll share the results as well. All right. So for the first question, the correct answer is indeed C, the variety of life on Earth. So good job, everyone. And for the second question, the correct answer is actually pangolin. Okay, I can't annotate. So some information about this is that short. Oh, oh yeah, there was a shortcut. um, so some information about this, like pangolin being the most trafficked animal in the world. So currently in the world, they are hunted regularly hunted for their meat and scales, as their scales are ingredients for traditional medicine, and their meat as a high-end delicacy in China, making them highly valuable. So yeah, pangolin is the correct answer. It's okay if you got it wrong. We're learning. Okay, let me move on. So yeah, good job everyone. Anyways, after looking at all of this, let's now take a look into why biodiversity is important. So as we all may know by now, healthy ecosystems that are rich with biodiversity are fundamental to all of us. It plays a critical role for our survivability and sustaining population of living things across the globe. We mm, we depend on it for food, water, clean air, medicine, and it also has economic value, which it helps in economic development, such as through forestry, agriculture, fisheries, tourism, but most importantly, it helps in maintaining our ecosystem. So as you know, as many species of plants and animals are dependent on each other, if one of them goes extinct, the others will start to overpopulate. And this is bad because once they start to overpopulate, it starts to threaten other species to become endangered or extinct too, creating a cycle that disrupts the balance in the whole ecosystem. Therefore, it is like very important that we have it preserved right now, as everything that we take for granted, right, including oxygen and plentiful food supply, might eventually worsen if we don't. So, moving on to the next topic, biodiversity loss. So, over over the last century, humans have caused rapid ecosystem change and massive loss of biodiversity across the planet. And today, they are occurring at an unprecedented rate, which causes many consequences for all of us. So, for instance, by 2021, 902 species were declared officially extinct. And out of 8 million species, 1 million species are threatened with extinction. And this really shows like how severe this situation really is. So here are some recently reported extinct animals globally. You know, the rhinoceros, splendid poison frog, leopard, and ibex. So I actually have a story about this one. So from my research, ibex actually went extinct twice because some team of Spanish and French scientists tried to clone them using the last standing ibex DNA, but it failed because the last creation failed to breathe, which is honestly pretty sad because going extinct twice, even yeah, no. And here are like some example of currently endangered animals that most of us are probably aware of by now. Gorilla, orangutan, snow leopards, and Komodo dragon. So this one particularly, the Komodo dragon, was actually recently included in this list from being vulnerable to endangered. Just recently, like last month on September. Pretty sad. And here are some critically endangered animals. Only 75 for Javan rhinoceros and less than 90 for Amur leopard. So now, let's take a look into three main threats of biodiversity. So, first of all is the overexploitation of resources. This happens when species are taken from the wild, through poaching, hunting, overfishing, and as a result, it destroys habitat through deforestation, urbanization, and etc. And this is happening in Brunei as well, due to the increase in demands as well as population growth. Secondly is pollution. It causes environmental degradation, where it ruins the state of the environment and also releases toxins into groundwater and soil, which in the end kills plants. These plants are then usually consumed by animals, leading to health issues or possibly even death, which makes it very unsuitable for the survivability of all of us. So let's take the beach, for example. There's so much trash there. And this is like a picture in Brunei that I found on the internet. But there's so much trash there, especially plastic. And this is what happens when we don't recycle, resulting in so many waste and environmental issues, which we have learned about in the previous workshops. It threatens our biodiversity, especially marine animals. Yes. And lastly is climate change. This is usually linked with human activity, for example, deforestation, industrialization, and etc. And as a result, this cause habitat loss and global warming. And due to that, it increases like the frequency and intensity of extreme climate events. For example, a common example in Brunei would be forest fires, flooding, and etc. But yeah, all of these threats like climate change, overexploitation, and pollution is happening so quickly and at once that many species like plants, animals have a hard time to adapt to it, leading to its very own extinction. All right, we have another short quiz time just to make sure you guys are still here. And as always, polls will pop up with the question. So are you guys ready? I'll I'll give about 30 seconds for this one since there's 3 questions. Uh, okay, I'll just post it now. I'll give about 30 seconds for you guys to answer. All right, time's up. I'll end the poll now and I'll share the results as well. Okay, so for the third question, or the first question in the poll, the correct answer is 902 species. I did talk about this earlier just now, but yeah, this was reported by the IUCN this year. It's okay if we get it wrong. It's fine. And for the fourth question or second question, the correct answer is indeed A. Someone voted recover. That's probably a mistake. It's okay. But yeah, it's pretty much the extermination of species. So yeah, this is the right answer. And for the last question, the correct answer is B, habitat. It's pretty much where they live and do their daily activities. It's okay if we got it wrong as well. Now you know. All right, perfect. So, stop sharing. Let's now get into the next section. What actually has been done globally and locally to address this biodiversity issues? So let's get into it. So firstly, there's actually a global action to address this. It is this Convention of Biological Diversity, which is an international treaty formed in 1993 to protect biodiversity, and this includes around 196 participating nations, Brunei being one of them. And so in 2010, they set like 20 biodiversity goals by 2020, like last year. However, none of these goals were met and only 6 were partially achieved, such as conserving um, protected areas and preventing invasive species. So this year, to combat to make up the failed goals, they set up 21 targets for 2030 to living in harmony with nature by 2050, which includes conserving and protecting at least 30% of Earth's land and ocean. So for every country, this is their goal. So in Brunei, this includes the protection, conservation, and management on critical sites. For example, the primary inland of Ulutan Burong, Brunei Bay mangroves, Tasik Marimbun, and Bukit Batu Sungai Inge. But yeah, these actions are crucial for both our environment and socio-economic development. As sustaining these resources right now helps protect our ecosystem and at the same time preserve natural resources for present and future generation. Other things that has been implemented are government legislation. And here are some examples in Brunei. So in Brunei, we have the Forest Act 1934, which emphasized on biodiversity conservation and forest protection, as well as the Wildlife Protection Act of 1978, where it emphasized on protecting the country's wildlife, particularly endangered animals such as proboscis monkey, Sunda clouded leopard, as well as the white-bellied sea eagle, which is, if you don't know, the national animal of Brunei. And we also have the Fisheries Order 2009, which is the protection and management of our marine biodiversity, as well as Prevention of Pollution of Sea Order 2005, which aims to prevent disposal of water of waste from ships, including garbage, plastic, and dangerous pollutants. Lastly, I found many programs to various initiatives. So, for example, documenting the range of endemic species in Brunei. So about this one, this was actually reported in Brunei Conference on Forests by the Ministry of Primary Resources and Tourism this year. And according to this conference, more research pertaining to our forests, biodiversity, and environment is important because it will give us more appreciation and knowledge on how to manage them properly. Documenting also helps as it records and protect this species along the way, as many has yet to get to be discovered. It also sheds a new light on previously little known area of our region, which means we get to learn more about our biodiversity. There's also like organization collaboration efforts. For example, there is exchange programs for biodiversity and awareness raising. We also have like seminars and conference to advance knowledge and expertise on biodiversity research and management. For example, like the climate action webinar happening tomorrow as an example, and many more. We also have like daily media coverage from Borneo Bulletin, for example, where they cover about biodiversity, such as the importance of biodiversity, and on environmental events as well, such as World Forestry Day, Mass Tree Planting, Use Less Plastic Campaign, and etc. Brunei also have like a long-term development plan, which is the Wawasan 2035, where it aims to conserve the country's remarkable biodiversity, rainforest, and natural habitat. So in order to do that, Brunei targets about 500,000 new trees by 2035, as well as exerting extra effort in increasing its forest reserve from 41% to 55% as part of its conservation program. So now, let's take a few seconds break and ask ourselves this. Am I responsible too? Just think about it. 5 seconds. All right. So to answer this question, I mean, you can have your own opinion, of course, but in my opinion, yes. To answer this question, yes. Our actions, even if it is little, can still directly or indirectly contribute to biodiversity loss. Our usage of plastics, such as from takeaways, plastic bottles, or like driving our cars, wasting electricity or food in general, can directly and indirectly pollute the environment. Therefore, yes, conserving our biodiversity concerns all of us. We need to get more people be aware of their actions and the consequences of biodiversity loss. So, yes, we must all be involved in this. So, what can we do to conserve biodiversity as individuals? Like the basic things we can do. So, this is pretty much the main topic of this workshop. So, in all honesty, it all starts with educating ourselves. And we can do that by reading research papers or articles, for example. Or if you prefer watching like me, you can watch news or videos about biodiversity through YouTube, for example. There's a lot of verified YouTube channels that you can learn from out there. Or if you want a more cinematic experience, you can watch from Netflix documentaries. Just search it up and you'll find a lot there. You can also learn by experiencing it directly. So, to give an example, going on a trip to a local forest to help restore a native habitat, or to ecotourism sites like diving sites or so, and see how much like biodiversity means to them and learn from it. Of course, when the pandemic is over. But yeah, I think this is really true because I remember I went to a lot of field trips back then to the forest as well as the beach, and I really learned a lot about the environment through this direct experience. And for the last point, oh, sorry about that. So for the last point, you can do it through things you enjoy. For example, arts, games, or etc. Make it more fun. So for art, usually, before you start creating something, it requires like meticulous research or study about it during or before you start on a piece. And in this sense, if you are doing about biodiversity, you get to learn more about it. So yeah, try it out if you're, artistic or anything. Or it may be through games, which often teaches you as well in creative ways, through trivias, quiz planet, or indie games. Yeah. Anyways, so I have like a recommendation for every of this main points that I made. So my first recommendation would be through watching local videos. Alwi Sawe, for example. Do you guys know about him? Yes. Yes, yes, no, yes. Oh yeah, okay, we have a lot. We have a lot of yes and some no's. That's fine. So basically, no, okay. So basically, he is a content creator that creates short documentaries on his Instagram in Kadayan dialect and was recently featured in Borneo Bulletin as well, like 10 days ago, I think. And he pretty much documents series on insect or and other animals within his home to entertain and educate people at the same time about these creatures in hopes that eventually viewers are able to better appreciate the surrounding, understand how this creature live and their importance to our ecosystem. So I'm gonna play you guys one of his videos right now just to show you what type of content he does. So yes, I'm gonna play it right now.
Ani pohon limau. Bila kamu lihat daunnya jai hantap nih tuh. Coba kamu lihat banyak hantap sumpak. Usia ini punya kajian ini. Si pun mia tuh usulnya konya giuk nih buatnya. Tapi daunnya nih ada anu nih securitynya juga. Nina, coba kita nih bawa masuk koma ha. Kita nih lihat baik-baik apa usulnya hampi-hampi. Mahati lagi kamu ginak tuh. Mulukan jai ko mau itu. Tuh nah adun lagi naik dia melompat namanya pintel labitata atau jumping spider yang putihnya orang kita nih melangkau laba-laba tiang aja nih tuh anik no yang cute coba kamu lihat ini tak kakai kamu tuh nah tapi besian yang tahu hantap dan dia inginkan bulu uma saya itu samut dia juga kali cabutnya kamu bulu uma kok tangan nah ani itu disilat nyantai tuh lepas satu berjalan-jalan tiap jauh-jauh lompat-lompat sana sini udah berapa kan tanah pulang sudah batah sudahnya iski sudah hatu aku tahu tiap balik mahati juga mulih kamu ada unta itu ini nah usulnya kamu lihat ya besian tah yang menjaga pohon-pohonan nih makan anak giuk anak anak samut anak segala anu lah yang binasa pohon besiani yang selalu jaga nih buatnya jadi bila kamu telah besiani pohon-pohonan biar taya sihat tuh pohonan kamu tapi entah itu daun 5 tahun di tekabi apakah kamu yang hanya sawang tapi ku pikir belenda ada apus tuh 5 waktu.
Okay, wait. So yeah, that is all. Did you guys enjoy this video? But yeah, if you're interested to see more, you can check him out on his Instagram, Alwi Saleh later, which is this one. The video was nice. Yeah, I agree. It's really nice. Okay, so moving on. As for my personal recommendation, since I like playing games, and if you do too, try checking out this game I found a few weeks ago. It's a game called Plasticity, a student-made environmental game which connects us around important issues related to the environment, such as tackling waste and pollution. So it's a free game and it takes less than 30 minutes to complete as well. Has anyone heard of this game before or like have played it? Nope. All right. That's fine. So to introduce, it's basically a puzzle game in this plastic. All right, first time. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically a puzzle game in this plastic filled world. You know, everywhere is like plastic if you see from this picture right here, where pretty much the game instantly shows you the results of your actions in real time by giving you direct feedbacks on how your choices impacted the environment, making like every little actions of yours impactful, which we usually can't see instantly in real life. This game kind of teaches you so much about environmental kindness, even the little ones, and it really reminds us that there's still hope of changing the state of our environment if we take actions right now and do the right thing right now, if we do not want to make our planet uninhabitable in the future a reality like this game right here. So yeah, try it out. And who knows if you it might also inspire you to take real life actions after that as well too. Yes. And of course, secondly, you can also conserve biodiversity by purchasing sustainable products. So, firstly, we can do so by purchasing local and environmentally friendly products. And this is good for the environment as it reduces carbon emissions in the air. For example, we can buy from local farm, or like shop sustainably in Kaimana, you know, a company which sold items in recyclable or usable containers or using our own container. You can also check out their TikTok, Kaimana Living, where they post some of their products and low waste tips. It's pretty neat. Or in Starbucks, where you can bring your own bottles to fill in your drink, or in cups like this, for example. Yeah, but yeah, I think some. Oh, wait. But yeah, I know that some of these products are kind of expensive, but if there's high demand all the time and you support it as well, the prices will eventually drop. It's a win-win situation for us, mm, as we're both doing something good for the environment and supporting sustainable businesses, which will eventually increase more products with recycled materials. But in all honesty, it's all up to you. But just think about the good things that you can do for the environment. Sometimes I think the main problem is over consumerism. Yes, that's pretty much the main problem of biodiversity loss, honestly. And uh, another thing you can do is by purchasing second hands instead. It's a really good way to reduce waste that goes into the landfill. And we can buy them out through thrift stores, garage sales, or online stores selling used stuff. For example, Smarter Autism Shop, the secondhand store BN on Instagram, or Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of used stuff there that you can buy. So for this point, my recommendation is through supporting local farms. Any farms would do, honestly. But by buying locally, it helps the environment by reducing our food miles, the distance it takes for the food to be transported to us from the producer, which is usually transported via planes or ships, releasing a lot of carbon emissions, which is pretty much bad for the environment. So yeah, by shopping locally, you are cutting down on the smiles and reducing the environmental impact of your food. There are many thrift item sellers on IG. Yes, yes, there's a lot. There's a lot. I agree. We could also like reduce plastic usage this way as well. For example, when you're in Tamu or like farms, you can bring your own reusable bags instead to put in your purchases. And if you compare this to, fruits or vegetables on supermarkets, they tend to have them covered in plastic, or like just put the fruits in plastic. So yeah, buying from local farms can really reduce our plastic usage if we want to reduce our plastic usage, obviously. And it also helps protect local land and wildlife. You know, Buying from local farmers supports them in operating their business, and this avoids them from selling their lands, which would otherwise be redeveloped or for industrial or commercial use. This not destroying our local habitat and protecting our biodiversity at the same time. So another recommendation I have, which is in line with Jade's comment on the chat, is thrifting. So yes, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this too. So with thrifting, it's a really good way to extend the lifespan of an item, as it reduces the amount of waste that goes into the landfill and helps keep pollution levels low, which in turns help in conserving our biodiversity. Honestly, there's a lot of hidden gems among these thrift places, and all for a more affordable price. But I recommend thrift only when you think it's necessary and when you need it to avoid clutter, because and to avoid spending on new products, because when it comes to your closet, less is more helpful for the environment. If you have a lot of clothes or items that you don't need, you can always donate or sell it to people who need it. uh, who need more instead of throwing them away just to save our environment. You can also like donate it to us when COVID is over, of course. You can also like upcycle the things you thrift or own. So if you don't know, upcycling is basically modifying old products into new ones. So for example, if you end up not liking the thrifted clothes you bought, you can upcycle it where you transform these outfits into brand new designs or so. Not only are you able to hone your sewing skills, expand creatively, and have a sense of accomplishment, you'll also save the environment. And who knows, you might actually get a passion from it and can start a business from it too. It's a win win situation for all. Okay, so there are many thrift item sellers on IG too, like Truly Thrifted PN. Can I know about what do Green Depot do with the donated clothes? So usually we sell these clothes during our thrift market or like charity sale, and the money we get from this clothes, like donated things we sell, we donate it to people that it needed more. Yeah, so basically that's the answer. Any ideas on how we can buy from local farms during lockdown now? Are Tamu still open? About this one, I saw on Instagram, I mean, Twitter, Tamu is still open, but of course you need to, what do you call it? Adopt the SOP. Like they really adopt that SOP benar-benar. My tweet yes. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, but yeah, you can buy from Tamu, but of course maintaining our SOP and social distance and stuff like that. Yeah, you can support the ones in Tamu. Yes. Okay. Uh Moving on. Thirdly, what we can do is by raising awareness. Oh yeah, so Tamu Kyangye and Pasar Jurdong are still open. Pasar Gardong are closed until further notice. So I hope that answers your question, Gia. Okay. So for my third point, raising awareness. So basically, the easiest way is by talking to your friends or family about any informations you learn regarding biodiversity. It can help them understand the importance as well as the value of biodiversity, which may encourage them to be more mindful of their actions too. You can also like share what you have learned today in this workshop and share it to them, or you can also do it using the platform you have to advocate for its importance, using your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or etc. And this could be by sharing, liking, or tagging someone about biodiversity, or through doing trendy challenges, for example, bingos, Instagram bingos, this or that, or etc. But yeah, you'll get to learn more about this as well in our last workshop happening in 2 weeks' time, which will talk about social media on raising awareness. Anyways, as for my personal recommendation on what you can do to spread awareness would be through posting environmental Instagram bingo challenges. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with this bingo system. You see them a lot in Instagram stories back then. But I think it'll be really nice to bring that back, but to a more environmentally friendly version that helps spread awareness and make a difference at the same time. Especially now, like in this pandemic, where people are mostly home, online, and sometimes with little to do. So hopefully by doing these types of environmental bingo challenges and nominating your friends or close ones can create a fun time and definitely help spread awareness. And better yet, it might encourage more people to create more of these types of community games and keep the ball rolling. Yes. So I have a small activity for you guys to do. It's pretty much a 3 minute or 4 minutes break, to be honest, but please do the activity as well. Anyways, so I created this checklist for all of you to play. So please visit our Instagram right now, screenshot our story, and do the challenge. Once you're done crossing off like these things, what you have done before for the environment, score yourself, adhere, and tag two of your friends. Please tag us too, so we can share it on our Instagram as well. So, are you guys ready? If yes, so let's start. I'll be doing it with you guys too, so we can help spread awareness together. Yes? All right. I'll move on to the next point after 3 minutes or so. I'll play a song in the meantime. Okay. Time's up, guys. Are you guys finished? If not, it's okay. You can continue doing it later. No pressure. But yeah, regardless if you finish it or not, good job everyone. You have successfully spread awareness. Even if what we're doing right now seems small, it's still something. So yeah, claps for you. I think I got 8 or less. Yeah, I got around 11 as well. So yeah, it's okay. We can always do these stuffs from now on. Okay, got 15. I need one more. Which one did she not get? 13. Wow. Volunteering. Okay. You can start volunteering next time when pandemic is over. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's move on to the next point, volunteering. Wait, there's a okay. So we can also help conserve our biodiversity by volunteering, at local communities such as school, workplace, or maybe public events, or with NGOs, if you want to be more actively involved. And in this sense, it helps us be more environmentally involved and at the same time supporting conservation programs, which helps keep the initiatives going. It is also a good way to gain direct experience. For instance, you can do that with Green Depot on call program too, where it is flexible and is open to anyone who is willing to assist with Green Depot's future events. Certificates are usually provided as well, which can help for your personal and professional development. You can also volunteer on any environmental initiatives, for example, beach cleanups organized by a lot of organizations, ghost net cleanups, which is organized by pony divers, or on mass tree planting events. And this is a really good way to conserve biodiversity as it helps clean up our environment and combat climate change as well. So as for my recommendation, it will be to volunteer with Green Brunei. And this is because they really emphasize the importance of our environment and have also conducted many environmental events in the past, such as tree planting, beach cleaning, and many more. They have also assisted and helped other companies in tree planting initiatives as well, which helps in contributing to Brunei's plan on achieving planting 500,000 new trees by 2035. But yeah, by planting saplings, it saplings, it really helps in conserving our biodiversity and natural environment. So yeah, whenever you see any new events created by or posted by them on any social media platforms or news that you are interested in and you want to contribute as well, don't hesitate to volunteer. And of course, you can always support or volunteer on any other organizations as well that plan to do any environmental future events in the future as well. This really helps in conserving our biodiversity even further. Mm. And for my last point, we can always adopt the basic 3 R's, which is reuse, reduce, recycle, to conserve our natural resources and landfill spaces. Of course, there are a lot more R's like rethink, which was talked about in the previous workshops, where we think about the impact it will have on the environment before we purchase something or so. But we will only focus on reuse, reduce, recycle for now. So firstly, we can always reuse items which still have usable aspects. For instance, reusing glass jars, containers, reusable bags, reusable water bottles, and etc. instead of throwing them away or buying new ones, because it significantly reduces waste, pollution, and the need for new raw materials, which in turn saves our environment, our forests and water supplies. Also important, we can always recycle. We should always reduce, where we try to reduce the amount of waste generated. So wasting food, for example, it is currently the biggest waste in our landfill, accumulating to 32% right now. And what's worse, our landfill is almost full, so we really need to reduce our waste. So an alternative to reduce would be through decluttering or donating things we don't need. And lastly, we can always recycle with recycling companies. So start by sorting out your recyclable items and send them to recycling companies like Green Depot, for example, or Daikyo, or to recycling bins provided by Justry, just to reduce the amount of recyclable going into the landfill. And here is like some of the recycling companies that in Brunei that you can recycle with according to each districts. And if you want to find out more, you can just scan or go to the link right here, which is provided by Justry. So anyways, my recommendation for this point would be to declutter. And so in this age of overconsumption, getting rid of unnecessary items can be part of a larger move to a lifestyle that is more environmentally sustainable. We tend to waste less and start to adopt an environmentally friendly mindset and lifestyle as we think more about the impact it has when we plan to buy new stuff that will only waste our planet scarce resources. So by consuming less overall, it helps in shaping our shopping habits, where we shop less and think twice before buying our items. And with decluttering, we also start to simplify things and get closer to zero waste, where we send nothing to the landfill, reduce what we need, and reuse as much as we want, send little to be recycled, and compost what we cannot. And now is honestly the right time to do that, since since most of us right now are like working or studying from home, and we now have more time to organize the space around us. And this helps in tackling overconsumption, which helps in conserving our biodiversity. So my other recommendation would be to recycle with Green Depot. So Green Depot is a project under Green Brunei located in KB, which aims to provide an avenue for the public to earn cash from recycling and to reduce the amount of recyclable that goes into the landfill. It is the only recycling company in Brunei with a unique recovery account. So by this, I mean being able to track how much you have recycled over the past months or years, as well as staking up money in your account and collect the cash whenever you want. So it's pretty much like a saving account. You can collect the cash only when you want to. So yeah, if you are interested, these are the ways. Also refuse. Yes. Oh, sorry. Oh my god. Sorry, I just saw the comment. So yeah, if you're interested, these are ways on how you can recycle with Green Depot. Firstly, you have to register on this website, which you can find from our Instagram link, or the link is also on the screen right here. Secondly, just drop off your recycled items on Green Depot in KV. And lastly, just check out your recovery account and request for cash out whenever you want. We accept things like, oh, sorry about that. Okay, we accept things like paper, aluminum, metal, and carryable e-waste. And we do not accept holy documents, batteries, plastic, Tetra Paks, soiled paper, glossy paper, as well as heavy e-waste. To remind everyone, we are currently providing contactless drop-off to reduce any physical contact or meeting with anyone during this pandemic. We are also operating as usual, Wednesday until Sunday. So you can drop it off there following these steps right here. So scanning your brew house, dropping it off here in front of the door, as well as sending the pictures to the WhatsApp number right here so we can update your recovery account. Okay, so to conclude, biodiversity is our life. It is our moral duty to conserve biodiversity as well as our environment. By getting involved at a local level, learning about current issues, and becoming a conscious consumer are really good starting points for fighting back against biodiversity loss. Everyone can help biodiversity, even you. Okay, wait. Do you know how I can recycle plastic bottles in Brunei, as well as jars and containers for skincare, for example? As for plastic bottles, wait. Currently, you can send like plastic bottles to the bins that Justry provide on each districts. However, kalau with us, we don't really accept it because our partner doesn't accept plastic anymore. So most of it ends up in the landfill. But I think honestly, what you can do is pretty much upcycle. You can do something with the bottles you have to, reduce the amount of waste that goes into the landfill, the plastic. In terms of jar and containers, I'm not really sure, but you can DM us on Instagram if you want to know more. I can research about it, and I can answer you there. Okay. Okay. All right. You're welcome. So, anyways, we're now gonna have breakout groups for discussion. There's gonna be 4 groups in total, with one facilitator to guide you as well. I'll also visit one by one later to check up on everyone. So anyways, the topic of our discussion would be Yeah. The topic of our discussion would be what other ways can you think of to conserve our biodiversity? So we need more than 4 ways for each group. I'll send the link right now. Let me just. Oh, you can give skincare containers to Body Shop. Yeah, so that's another way that you can send to. So yeah, you everyone, you can check the chat right now and access the link. Okay, let's check it as well. Okay, so once you're in your group later, please open your mic, assign a presenter, and discuss among yourselves for 10 minutes. Don't forget to zoom into your section and type inside the sticky notes under drafts by double clicking on the sticky notes. And once you're done, like you're finalized with the answer, you can just drag it into the box right there. Let me change my screen. Okay, so this is the screen. All right. Anyways, once discussion time is over later, present your points with everyone. I'll share the screen for you guys so you don't have to. So are you if you're still confused, the instruction is on the link as well. So you can just refer to it for any clarifications. So are you guys ready? And at 3:33. Okay. You can join in the breakout rooms right now. Wait, is everyone here, Costa? Right? Okay, wait. So I think everyone is here. Let me close the music. All right. So welcome back, everyone. Did you guys have fun in the breakout room? Or like with the mural app or so?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Yes, ma'am. All right. That's good. All right. Now, so let us now start hearing the presentation. You guys have about 2 to 4 minutes to present. So can the presenter for group 1 present their points, please? All right. You can go.
But before that, what type of presentation are you looking for?
Just say out. Just summarize what you guys have discussed, and yeah, just everything here, I guess.
My brain is working in a work mode. No, wait.
Yeah, just present what you see. Yeah. You have 2 to 4 minutes.
Not enough, but sure, why not? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lee, and today I will be presenting our very team 1 on how to, what was it again? Biodiversity vacation. Oh yeah, the other ways you think you could think of to converse our biodiversity. Yes, correct. This proof I really haven't talked in a while. First off, the general idea is basically to reduce the overall consumption. Like, first we talk about food waste. We were also talking about cats, neutralizing cats, so that hopefully we won't get so much strays, because the more strays you have, the more food you have to feed. And when it comes to that, it also ultimately will change into waste. After that, we were talking about, I think our main idea was more about reusing things. For instance, we were talking about rubber tires to be made into furniture. Now, one of the ideas that popped in my mind just now was that you could use rubber tire as a table by, if you have a wooden pallet, you can put a wooden pallet first, the rubber tire at the bottom. And if you have an unused office chair, maybe the chair is broken, but the wheels are good, you could attach the wheels to the bottom, and then you have a running table, not a running table, sorry, a movable table, portable table. And other than that, I was thinking about, we have a lot of paper lying around, especially papers. I do believe that it's one-sided only. We only use one side and the other side is practically empty. So why not use that paper to make your own scrapbooks or make your own memory journal, junk journal, or just a book in general. Just bind them together. You don't need fancy stuff to make anything work, because in the end, we don't use the fancy stuff and we just go to the non-fancy stuff. Let's face it. I have a lot of fancy journals in my drawer and it's still there after 3 to 4 years. So let's use up the scrap papers first. And next, we're talking about using plastic bottles as flower vases. Why not? You have a lot of DIYs online to actually how to beautify your plastic bottles. I've seen flower designs, I've seen cats, I've seen animals. They're pretty cute. And they work as well. If anything, plastic is actually very versatile because it's very flexible. You don't have to worry about water. The only thing you have to worry is about probably the cats eating our plants, but that's another story. After that, we're talking about disposable sanitary pads. Yes, sanitary products. Use menstruation cup instead. Yes, that is true. I personally do not like menstruation cup, but instead have reusable pads. And nowadays, we have a lot of options other than menstruation cups, disposable, reusable pads, and what was the last thing? If I'm not mistaken, period underwears. They are also quite popular, and Kaimana is also selling them for $40 per pair, if I'm not mistaken. And more upcycling materials like upcycled jeans into bags. I have made one myself, and the bag has lasted real well. No holes, nothing. And it's not easy to dry because it's jeans, but overall, it's really nice to use. And we're talking about decomposing waste. Yes, of course. So if you are cooking, the easiest way to actually decompose waste are the waste that are raw materials itself. For example, if you are decomposing, like, for instance, maybe you're cooking an egg. You don't eat the shell. So what do you do with the shell? You try to break out the shell as fine as possible, like tiny little powder form. If we have the, I don't remember the name, but if you could, try and just put them as small as you can, because eggshells are amazingly difficult to compose. Mine is still there after 1 year. It's still in the sand, as you can see it. Other than that, vegetables, like, when you cook vegetables, sometimes you just chop off the ends of it, like the carrots, the peels, onions, and things. Just put it under the sand give it a couple of weeks and have some water and have some sun. Eventually, it will decompose by itself. You don't even need a industrial decomposer for that. What else? Try to do home farming. Yes, why not? We're all at home now. The easiest thing to do, do you know what is to grow? Just to grow spring onion. Just put it there. It will sprout by itself magically. All you need is some soy, which you get a tamu for per bag of soy for $2. Some soy. You need the onions that is somewhat sprouting already, and then you shouldn't eat it. Just put it in the soil. Just leave it there. It's sprout on its own, and there you go. After 2 weeks, they're fresh onions to be eaten. And last but not least, I remember carpooling. Yes. Okay. Now it's not a good time to do this. I know that. But carpooling is great. First, it's not your car. You don't have to drive. I don't like to drive so much. And second, you can talk to the person next to you. Why not? Build some relationship on the way to how to sustain your life as well. So carpooling is great. Great for relationship. It's great for environment. So it's a double killer. And lastly, do not send chemicals in our waterway. This is very true because unfortunately, waterway do end up in the oceans and the seas, which I think we have seen quite a bit. If you're around KB, you have seen the waters. It's unlike Bandar Empire, it's not blue. Our one is practically dark brown color, the water. If you have seen the seas and the ocean color, so you never know what's going inside there. But and the fact that the fish are also eating the chemicals, it also destroys the biodiversity in that sense. So yes, our main one is to keep reusing your stuff and just keep upcycling your stuff, reduce, and just try your best to decompose whatever you can. And that's that. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Group One, and to the presenter Lee as well. I love the spirit and enthusiasm in your presentation, and all the discussions were highly informative and enjoyable as well. So thank you. So can we now have Group Number Two to present their points, please?
Hello, okay. Thank you, Najibah.
Hello.
Can you
hello.
hear me clearly?
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear you
Assalamualaikum
clearly.
and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nas from Group 2. So we've compiled a diverse ideas actually on the how we're going to conserve the biodiversity. Yeah? And there's more into sustainability, more into waste management and education. I think some of it are also similar to other groups as well. But if we would look into it, for example, we start with the top left. We've given ideas such as thrifting. I remember earlier someone mentioned one of the problem is the over consumerism. Yeah, so thrifting is one of the methods on how we're going to address over consumerism. So like using more second hands, like from your presentation earlier, and also support local farms or buy sustainable product from the local farms itself. This will also help to protect the environment because they're more greener. They expand the earth natural base and reduce the the greenhouse gas from farms, or perhaps they conserve water resources, for example. And other than that, we also put in avoid buying animals such as pangolin if they are people selling. So this is pretty much the endangered or endangered species that you've mentioned earlier, because if we buy them in such a way that we are supporting them, it will only encourage them to poach more. So we have to boycott this, and we have to stop supporting animal poachers. Okay. And then if we look into the waste management area, the top right, we put there jangan buang sampah merata. So basically, this will cause pollution. So for example, river pollution. We know that river, there's a lot of biodiversity, and it's a part of an ecosystem itself. So if we don't litter and keep our river clean, that itself supports. Oh, sorry, it's my phone. That supports to conserve the biodiversity itself, and then in the bigger picture, it creates a healthy ecosystem for the biodiversity and for us ourselves. So what we can do is we make a recycling a habit. So recycle, reuse, reduce, and then pretty much being a sustainable practice lah. Macam tadi someone asked, where are we going to throw these plastics? As of right now, that's pretty much a big issue here in our country. We don't have the capacity yet to recycle plastic. So perhaps before we think about throwing it, maybe we could recycle it or use it, or like you mentioned earlier, perhaps upcycling it. So that's one of the ways of reducing waste. And then reduce pollution by carpooling. This one is perhaps related with your you mentioned earlier on climate change. We've all aware that conventional cars, they emit carbon, which is harmful for the environment, and they release GHG. So carpooling, in the sense that it reduces this carbon emission from more traffic in the road, less car to emit carbon. Perhaps if we go further than that, perhaps we can advocate electrical vehicles, but of course that's not here yet. But that's probably something we could look forward to. And a similar carpooling, and then take a walk to the nearest store. So if it's nearby, like it's not really necessary for us, perhaps maybe to use a car. So there's something for us. Maybe we can walk. So like that in the sense that can help reducing our carbon footprint. And then from the bottom there is mostly on education. I think that like you mentioned, educate others. So first we educate ourselves, and then we educate others. But at the same time, this works interrelated with each other. So how do we do that? For example, participate in green initiatives or activities. That way we are educating ourselves, and we are educating others as well. So for example, activities like beach cleanups, tree planting activities, all that relates to saving the environment. Then plant more local plant more trees. So this is similar with the sustainable yang tadi yang top level tu, into more sustainable product and so on. Well, that's pretty much from our group. Thank you, Najibah.
All right, thank you, Group 2 and also Nas for presenting. Your discussion points were really refreshing and useful to hear, and I learned something new too, you know, like boycotting the animals that people sell. I mean, pangolin, for example. So yeah, so thank you. All righty, can we now have the presenter from Group 3 to present their points, please?
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
We're
Alright.
from Group 3. So I guess from Group 1 and 2, we have a lot of really great tips. And for our group, I think we included some more big, big tips and some smaller tips. And I think that, we think that the most important one is on a larger scale, we have to impose like national laws and policy to protect and conserve the biodiversity. So this is the most important one because the country can help everyone in doing a better job. For example, we also have fining for litter bugs. So if you are caught littering, you will be fined. And we can do so much more than that as well. Other than that, on a larger scale, we also think that educating everyone ever since they're children is very important. We can impose classes and courses on sustainability in schools, even in the kindergarten. I remember in my kindergarten back then, I'm from Syria, and I remember when I was in kindergarten, we did have small lessons on how to plant tomatoes and some vegetables, and those are really great. So educating children since they're young can really affect a person's mindset, a person's mind. We can educate them on consumerism, because consumerism is really big influenced by the social media. We can teach them what is minimalism, teach them how to decompose properly, how to properly decompose food waste, and what makes something biodegradable. And most importantly, nowadays there's a lot of greenwashing. We can also educate on that. So if we don't have these classes right now, we can also educate ourselves by learning on Google, on Netflix, on documentaries. So these are really important because mindset is the first step to every action. So we can learn to be mindful and intentional on our daily actions and choices. And then have a lifestyle that is more environmentally conscious. And then so we have some other smaller tips like use ethically sourced products, plant some flowers or fruits at home so we can save money and also not be dependent on buying outside, especially since now it's the COVID time. If we have plant some veggies at home, we can always have veggies for free, technically. We can carpool, as the previous group has mentioned. We can also support local businesses. Yeah, that will really reduce a lot of carbon emission, because when we import things, when we order things online from other places, it goes through a lot of transportation, hence a lot of carbon emissions. And there's another tip that is, this is a really great topic, is being vegan and vegetarian. So there's a lot of debate on this because not everyone would really transform and change into a vegan immediately, but maybe we can do it slowly because eating meats one of it is we are killing animals, so maybe killing the biodiversity. Even if we raise a lot of, let's say, cows or animals for food purposely, raising cows really causes a lot of carbon emission because the waste from cows emits a lot of methane gases, CH4. That really hurts our environment in a very big scale. So there's a lot of documentaries on this. I recommend Cowspiracy on Netflix. I also recommend Seaspiracy on Netflix. These are quite nice to learn about. What more? We should do more research towards recycling facilities as well. And I hope Brunei will slowly develop and have more advanced facilities for recycling things so we can all do our part. Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Group 3, as well as Jade, for presenting. The discussion points were really insightful and inspiring, and I enjoyed hearing it as much as you shared it, especially about being minimalistic as well as going vegan.
I also want to share that I think that a lot of people think that climate change seems like a very huge topic, and we are far from knowing how to help. But actually, the littlest actions from our daily lives really adds up. And each person, for example, refusing to use a disposable thing or a single-use item, for example, will really reduce the demand collectively. So hence, reducing the production as well. So we don't need one person to do zero waste perfectly, but we need everyone to do zero waste imperfectly. So the biggest obstacle right now, I think, is a lot of people are thinking and waiting for other people to take action, but we can start from ourselves. Yeah, that's about
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much for sharing. That was really great to hear. And I really learned a lot from it as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, moving on, lastly, can we have the presenter from Group 4, please? Hello.
Okay, we're from group 4.
Okay.
And these are all the points that we compile lah. So the first one, we recommend to take shorter showers because kalau lama-lama mandi banyak waste more water, which is not good. Itulah. The next one is plant your own fruits and vegetables. For example, we can plant it on our backyard. There are many vegetables that we can plant, such as tomatoes, chilies, on our own. The third one is we should establish and build a new conservation center where the concept is more modernized and people can share, people can learn and learn more on wildlife. Example is wildlife exhibition. Next one is impose a more strict penalty or strict fines, especially to the public. Okay. And the next one is practice carpool or use public transport. Another one, prohibition of deforestation, more reforestation and less deforestation. We should purchase sustainable products such as, for example, here we can purchase like metal straw and recycle bag and many more. Then another point is to improve public transport. For example, is the buses. We should keep it clean so more people want to use the public transport. Another point is to Public should volunteer more to raise awareness and join, for example, Green Brunei, Green Depot, and many more. We should provide more recycle center in each kampong and facilitated by the kampong head of village, so we can encourage more people to be involved in recycling activity. Have educational school trips, for example, going to like ecoponies and many more. Okay. Create awareness on radio, TV, and also social medias. And we should also follow Singapore's method of strict fines from littering, because Singapore is a good example of a country that practice really clean environment. Okay, and that's it from us.
All right. Thank you, Ikwan, as well as Group 4. The points were really helpful and informative at the same time, and it gave me some great new insights, and which I cannot try out as well. So thank you very much. I'll change this screen right now. Wait. All right. So oh wait. I would like to thank everyone once again for the wonderful discussion. You guys did very well, even with the limited time as well. I have gained some good ideas from your presentation and enjoyed listening to it as well. I really appreciate all the responses and different views you guys have to conserve our own biodiversity. And it's a really good thing that we are discussing it now, so it can make us be more aware of our actions in the future as well. I learned so much from all of the discussion you guys made, and I hope you do too. So last but not least, I would like to leave you all with a quote, which is, without caring for the world around us, everything that we've lived for will eventually be lost. So ask yourself this: what can you do about it? Well, the one to answer that is you. Thank you. That is all for my workshop. And before we end this session, I would like please give us your feedback about our workshop in the link. I have sent it in chat as well right now. The link is also on the screen and in the chat box, so you guys can answer them later after this workshop. Anyways, just to inform, we have 2 more workshops left about landfill and social media. So we hope to see you all there too. And I think I have some time for 1 or 2 questions. So if you guys have any question, you can just send it in chat. All right. Okay. Since we're running out of time, if there's no questions, we can now officially end the session. If you have like any additional questions you want to ask, you can just DM us on Instagram. All right, we'll wrap up our session with Surah Al-As by Hafizan. Is Hafizan here?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal-as innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr. Amin.
Alhamdulillah, thank you, Hafizan. All right, that pretty much concludes our session. Thank you all for attending. Stay safe and in good health always, and we hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.